Hi everyone, Rainey here. I'd like to welcome you all here tonight. We're going to be speaking about generators. So, if the power went out tonight, most people wouldn't know what size generator they actually needed. So, tonight we're going to be fixing that. What I'd like to do is I want to speak about the types of generators, what size you actually need, gas versus solar versus batteries, and what you would use. Now, I'm going to tell you right up front, I don't know a lot about generators. I'm in the market for one, which is why I'm doing this. I'm trying to find out about generators, and I thought a lot of you would like to know what I found out. So, we're going to be going over basically what I've researched and what I found out. And if there's anybody out there who already has a generator, please let me know in the comments so you can answer some questions. Give us some of your thoughts, how you like it. And with that, like I said, this is about preparedness. It's good to find out these things before you need it. So, for whoever's watching, let us know who you are, where you're from, and if you have a generator. Hopefully, you're not having to use it right now. So, like I said, I'm going to be going through a lot of my notes tonight, telling you what I found out. And go ahead and just jump in and let me know what you know about generators or what your experience has been. So, with that, we have Lady Beth. Hi there, Lady Beth. Good to have you here. And I know Ralu is on here somewhere. I don't know if she's supposed to be on here. But so we have a few people just coming in. And for those of you who are watching the game, I just found out when I decided to do this, right after I posted we're doing it, they said, oh, the Super Bowl is on at the same time. So a lot of you will be watching this in rerun. All right. So please, if you are, go ahead and leave the information that you would have been leaving now so other people can read this and have ideas, have more information. There's Ralu. Great. So let's talk about the different types of generators that I found out about first. So there's four basic types. There's the gas generator, or what they call the portable one. The inverter generator, that's a new one I didn't know about. The solar generators, which are kind of like the battery stations. And the whole house standby type generators. Well, we're going to get into the gas generator first. Okay, so what they are, these are the most common generators you see. They're advertised all over the place. So you pour in the gasoline and you pull a start or have an electric start, and basically the power goes directly to the outlets. It's the cheapest way, from what I found, to get a lot of power right away. You can run your refrigerator, your freezer, your heaters, tools, and you can pretty much find these at any hardware store. Matter of fact, I know a few people that have them. I had a prepper tell me the other day online. He says, yeah, you want to know who has one of those gas generators? When the power goes out, go outside, be quiet, and listen. They're giving themselves away all over the city. So I guess a lot of the preppers like the quiet ones, especially if they want to be left alone. But for emergency type thing, I don't mind making noise. Let's see. And yeah, we're going to be talking. We got a question here about apartment living alternatives. Yeah, we're going to be talking about what you can do in an apartment as well. We have some apartment ones. Matter of fact, like I said, I'm looking for one myself, and I'm also in an apartment. So welcome. And Eddie from Kentucky is here. Kentucky and I have 3 solar generators. Three solar ones. Oh, how do you like those? I like that. We're going to talk more about those. And Renee is here. Hi, Renee. How you doing? I spoke about you in a video I put out yesterday. I thought about you when I was talking about using my Jiffy Pop popcorn, how you told me not to use it. All right. So people are starting to come in. That's great. So anyways, let's talk about the common generator, like I was saying, the gas-powered one. Okay, so the pros are it's the cheapest way to get a lot of power. And like I said, they run fridges, most of your appliances, and you can find them anywhere. The cons are the loudness, okay? They need gasoline, So it needs to be stored safely, and they can be run outdoors only. So, like I said, they're cheap, they're powerful, but you need to have a lot of gas on hand. All right. Then there's the inverter generator. This is still gas powered, but they say it has like smarter electronics. They produce cleaner power that's safer for things like TVs, computers, and chargers. So the pros, they're quieter than a regular generator. They're better for electronics, more fuel efficient. The cons, they cost more. They use less total. They usually have less total power than those big gas ones. So it's kind of like upgrading a quieter version of the regular generator. Someone told me the other day it's kind of like a regular generator is like having a lawnmower. It puts off so much power, and it puts off so much power that's out there, and you're using up whatever you need. Whereas the converter one is more, or the inverter is more. It uses what you need, but it's more expensive. Which brings us to, I was looking at one of these. Raluca and I were walking through Costco the other day, and I said, look at this. It's a solar powered generator. I thought that was the coolest thing. So we were looking at that for a while. So solar power, these are the, how do I say this? They're not generators more than they are, I guess you could say, batteries in the traditional sense. So there's no engine. You charge them from your wall, from your car, and from the solar panels. So again, someone asked, how about the for apartment dwellers? That would be one option. If you can't have a generator, gas generator outside your door, I can, because I'm an apartment, but I'm the only one in this building, so I could do one out on the deck. But this one here, you can have it. You can have your solar panel outside, and you can charge it, while the power is there. But so the pros are they're silent, there's no gas, and they can be used indoors safely. The cons, there's a limited runtime, meaning, I guess, when you're out, unless you have solar power, right? They're expensive. I guess you could say the initial cost of them, because they were pretty, they had them right next to the regular gas generators, and they were a lot more expensive. So for the amount of power that you're getting, especially. They're not good, supposedly, for heaters and for big loads. So these are really batteries, not generators. They're quieter. So again, for an apartment dweller, that might be a good choice as well. Then the big guy, the whole house standby generator. Okay. These are permanently installed systems that turn on automatically when the power goes out. Hospitals, a lot of big places will have something like that. They install them, they turn on, and they usually run by propane or natural gas. Pros, they're automatic. They can power most or all of a house, and no extension cords to trip over. I guess that's a good pro. Cons, they're very expensive, and you usually have to have them professionally installed. And it's kind of like not realistic for most people, unless you, probably plan it while you're building the house. That will probably be the cheaper way. So this is the dream setup: automatic power, and expensive. Most people don't have these, but you've probably seen them advertised a lot. So before we go any further, I'm going to ask you, we've got quite a few people here now. What do you have if you have a generator, and what if you don't? What are you thinking about getting? Would you prefer from what I said out of those? The gas, inverter, solar, whole house? Yeah, we'd all like to get that, or none at all. And I'm going to see what you folks say. And while you're talking about that, Raluca was saying, well, how about if you don't get any at all? I said, well, that's what we have our channel for. You're going to probably need a stove. We show you how to make stoves and heaters, and we're getting into a lot of other things, how to heat a house with no electricity, how to keep warm, these kind of things here. So it's nice to have a generator. That's why we'd like to have one. We just had some power outages, and it'd be nice to have. So let's see. Eddie said he has three generators. That's great. And Renee says, solar for me. I don't have any shade. You get a lot of sun. I was thinking about solar. Solar sounds great, but I always worry about when you have a power outage. I know over here up in Maine, usually when we have one, it's because of bad weather, extreme snow, mostly snow, rain, ice storms that, you know, basically trees fall on the power lines, or occasionally you have a squirrel doing this tight wire rope and hits a transformer, but you're out for the whole day. That's not bad. Well, it is for the squirrel, but not for us. But the ones with the storms, if you don't have sun for a while, especially if it's like these big tornadoes, what we had in the last couple of weeks, where that was gloomy for a long time, you're probably not going to be able to recharge. So that's kind of the one problem I think about. So come on, anybody else? Who else has a generator, would like one? We got a bunch of people watching and they're not talking. Tell me where you're from. I want to see who's the furthest one away from. Let's see, who's further here than Raluca. Raluca is about 25 feet away from me. So one of you's got to beat that. Who's further away from Maine? I like to see, sometimes we get people from the U.S. Sometimes we get them from clear on the other side of the world. It's interesting. That's what I like about doing live. You meet a lot of people that way. All right, the next step, segment 2. What size generator do you need? Ooh, okay. Most people buy a generator that's either too small or a lot bigger than what they need. Okay, so you don't size a generator by the house, I found out. You size it by what you want to run. Okay. Yeah. Oh, we got one. Raluca goes, I'm in the office. But Southwest Missouri, that's the winner so far. Raluca, you got beat. Missouri, that's a little bit further away. That's like this far on the map, and Raluca, you're this close on the map. How's that? That's how good I am at distance. If we get lost in the woods, you don't want me reading the map. Hey, we're almost there. 37 miles to go. All right, so what do we do for what size do you need? Let's break it into simple categories. For small power needs, like your apartment dwellers, you might only need 1,000 to 2,000 watts if you're running things like, telephone, lights, maybe your internet router, TV, laptop, fans. Okay, most people that are running things, they're not running them all at the same time either. So if you only need a few things for emergencies like that, then a small generator would be fine. Then you get the medium-sized one, which is like 2,000 to 4,000 watts. That's if you're going to be running a refrigerator, a freezer, microwave. I guess they really suck up the energy. Coffee maker. Raluca didn't hear that. She's a coffeeholic, okay? So she needs to have that. So I guess we're looking at medium. And small space heaters sometimes. Now, those space heaters are pretty, I guess, how do I say that? They really suck the energy. And I know we have, I think, 4 of them in here that we use pretty much 24/7. So this is where I think most people should be looking. Enough power to keep food cold and life normal. Then you get the large power needs, 5,000 to 7,500 watts. This is for people that want to run their refrigerator and their freezer, maybe a sump pump, a well pump, a furnace blower, multiple rooms at once. So if you're trying to run, big things or several big things at the same time, you might need a larger one like that. And of course, the big guys, the whole house power, they're looking at 10,000 plus watts, and that runs most of the house, your central air conditioner, large appliances. So that's where, like I said earlier, it gets pretty expensive, but people actually don't need it if they really think of it, because if you can use, I guess, the rule that saves people from mistakes, which is don't run too many big things at the same time. So things like refrigerator, freezer, well pump, furnace, do you need the power just for a few seconds to start it up? Do you need it to running the whole time? Up here in Maine, this time of year, we don't need a freezer. Just open the door and throw something out in the ground on the porch or something. It'll freeze right away. If it's water, it'll freeze before it hits the porch. So another problem that people have, like I said, is usually when you start things up, that's when it uses a lot more energy. And a lot of people have problems. I hear about generators that are shutting off all the time. A lot of times it's not because they're bad, it's because they're undersized. And when you're running all these things at once, they just can't keep up and they go off. So the simple math, what size should I get for apartments? Probably 2,000 watts would make it. It would take care of your emergency needs as well. Most homes, 3,000 to 5,000 watts. If you have well pumps, sump pumps, maybe 5,000 plus watts. And of course, 10,000 or more if you want to do the whole house. Okay. So if the power, here's a question for you, for all those listening here, unless you're watching a game on the other phone, you better not be doing that. I'm going to make sure your power goes out. If the power went out right now, what are the top 3 things you'd want running? Think of that. Go ahead and tell me. If the power went out right now, what are the top 3 things you'd want running? I know Raluca's over there saying, coffee machine. Power's out, all hell breaking loose. I want coffee. Funny thing is, here we are in Maine, okay? Cold weather. It's like, I think, 4 degrees out there right now. But I have iced coffee. We always have to have our iced coffee. And Renee says, today, just a fan. So where are you, Renee, that you would use a fan? And Pink Peony. Okay. Sometimes I have dyslexia. No, a rice cooker. Okay. Gotta have the rice. And I said, Raluca still hasn't typed her coffee. She's a little slow right now. I think she needs some coffee. Oh man, you just depressed me. Renee says, it's 70 degrees here today. Can you put some in an envelope and mail it to me? Okay. We'll open the envelope. Oh, that'd be great. Let's see. Raluca, 70 degrees today. I'm moving your way. We are moving, by the way, folks. We've been looking for a house for a little over a year now. Unfortunately, I know Renee's got to be south because it's that cold. Unfortunately, we're looking for a house, but we're looking north, a couple hours north of here. Right now, we probably only have, I don't know, what do you think we're looking about? Maybe 6-8 inches of snow. Up there, where we're looking at going, they probably have 3-4 feet of snow up there. But got to do our ice fishing. It's very important. Let's see. Blow dryer. There you go. Blow dryer, ice cooker. So we're getting some good items here. All right. Now, here we go. Segment 3 that I researched. Gas versus solar versus battery. What should you use? Okay, so unfortunately, I'm finding there's no perfect generator. Each one solves a different problem. So the gas generator, when they make sense, long outages, running refrigerators, freezers, heaters, high power needs. There we go. I knew I could say it. They make the most power for the lowest price, but they're loud. Okay, you need to have fuel on hand, and they've got to be run outside because of all the fumes. So if you want real power for days, gas is still king as long as you can get the fuel. Then there's solar generators, the ones with panels. Like I said, I saw at Costco. When do they make sense? Well, they're best for if you want quiet power, daytime recharging, small to medium loads. If you just have a lot of outages for, a few hours here, a few hours there, you can always charge it back, with electricity. And people who don't want gas, again, apartment dwellers, you probably don't want that noise for your neighbors. Solar is still slow, though, compared to gas, and the weather matters. Okay, if you don't get sun at all, you're not going to get the power. And the panels do take time to recharge the batteries. but they're great for smaller things like the lights, the phones, the internet, those important things. Coffee maker will be right on the border, right? So solar is clean and quiet, but it's not instant power like gas. It's more, I guess, about patience. Then we got the battery power stations. When do they make sense? Well, they're good for short outages, apartment use, indoor use, nighttime, quiet power. If you need to know, let's see, I guess, yeah, no noise, no fumes, limited runtime. And with the battery, without solar, once it's empty, it's empty. So these are great units until they run out. Then the next thing, let's see. Oh boy, I got information here I didn't know I had. Woo-hoo. Simple ways to choose. Okay, if you need a lot of power for a long time, or even for a short time, if you need a lot of power, gas. Quiet power with sun backup solar. If you want safe power for essentials, and it's going to be a short-term type thing, the battery. This is a funny thing. Most people buy generators based on advertisements, not how they actually live. You know how true that is? I mean, I look in the newspaper. Hey, honey, look at this generator. It's only $19.95. Let's go get it right now. And then you get it home and it'll power your electric toothbrush. That's it. What a deal, though. It's only $19.95. Let's see. Oh, yes, that's a good one. Pink Peony says electric blanket. That's right. Okay, Lucas having this conversation back and forth here. You should get oh boy, Reluca, you need to come and talk about this. The Aqui hair tower wrap. Oh my God, I can't live without it this winter. Dries your hair, fat boy. So they're talking about beauty things there, hair stuff, and yeah. Reluca has her own channel. It's Beauty by Ralu. Little advertisement for her. So she's always talking about. You want to know anything about the hair, or about skincare, or about fragrances, all that? She'll go on all day. I mean, I build stoves. She buys perfumes. Hey, there's some instant fuel, Ralu. You ever thought of that? When you're not looking, I'm going to go get your perfumes and we're going to have fuel to burn. That would be interesting. Thanks for the plug. You're welcome. All right, where are we? Now that we digress totally. Okay, segment 4. The last piece that you actually use a generator for, okay? What people kind of overestimate what they need. That's the last piece or thing you want to know. Start with, I guess you could say this is a reality check, okay? Most people, they feel like they need to power everything, but they just need to power what keeps life normal. And that's the whole thing. I mean, you're having a power outage. It's nice to, not miss a beat and just keep everything going perfectly, but sometimes you got to give up a little bit. I know, not coffee. I'm going to be told that later. But what are the must-haves? Make a list for yourself. What are your must-haves? The big ones are usually refrigerator, freezer, lights, phone charger, internet, Wi-Fi, TV, radio. Some people it's video games, but they're going to be down too, okay? At least the online ones. So if you can keep food cold, your lights on and phones charged, you're already ahead of most people. When the power goes out, I mean, what happened? Yesterday, in fact. Yesterday, we're sitting here watching TV, have a good time, and boom, everything goes off. I guess this time it was something easy. Something in the house blew and it tripped the breaker, right? So I know exactly where my flashlights are. So I have like a lantern flashlight in the other room on top of my food storage. I went up and I got the thing and turned it on, and it started flickering and flickering and flickering, and it went out. Man, not what you expect. So now I said, I need another light. Luckily, Reluca knew where there was one. But comfort, what do you need to be comfortable? Okay. So people try to run too many things at once. Generators shut off because they're overloaded. You don't need everything at the same time, so rotate the loads instead. If you need to do this, you need to have that running and this running all at the same time. You don't need to run the microwave, the heater, and the fridge all at once. Take turns. Um, it's like, if the air is not good, you take a breath, then I take a breath. We don't need to breathe at the same time. But never mind. All right. So here's a rule that saves people money. If it has a motor or makes heat, it uses a lot of power. Keep that in mind. If it has a motor or makes heat, it uses a lot of power, such as space heaters, hair dryers, toasters, power tools. Okay, so that's one rule that should stick. Let's see, what do we got going on here? Anybody coming up with answering more of these questions? Would you rather store gas or rely on the sun? Ooh, there's something good. I guess apartment dwellers, we already know what the answer is there, right? And if you have a generator, some of you said you had them, what generators do you use and why? Do you like them? If you say, I use this one and I hate it. And what worked for you in your last outage? These are kind of things that are good to know. And if you don't have a generator, what worked for you in your last outage? Okay. Oh, here's a great question. When the power goes out tonight, what's the first thing you'd want running? Let's see, what do we got here? Living on my parents' property, it was nice to have a gas stove for cooking and warmth when the power was out. That's great. Yeah, a gas stove, or people that have wood stoves. Like I said, we're renting right now, but I want to get a place where I could put in a wood stove, and I really hope we have a gas stove as well. Gas stoves are awesome for that. You could use them for a lot of things. I mean, it's fun. The things that we do here are fun, but every time the lights go out, to have to cook on tea lights or denatured alcohol or all these different stoves, it's neat, but you got to crack, you need the ventilation, so you got to crack the door or the window a little bit. Or matter of fact, I made a really nice one the other day. It's almost like a bonfire, but you got to go outdoors to use it. So we saw some solar ones. Yeah, Raluca, we saw some solar ones at Costco. They were expensive, and you had to buy the panels only from them. Oh, yeah. That was some companies. You got to be aware of that. Some of the major companies, you can buy solar panels from anywhere, and that's good. But this company here, no names mentioned, no, I won't say it. You have to buy their solar panels. And I know that's great. That's marketing. That's smart for them. But, sometimes they can get pretty expensive. But if you can find one that you can use any solar panels, you can sometimes find some pretty good deals on solar panels too. Good point, Raluca. So you hear over there, you're welcome. Yeah, now the big thing that comes up in my mind, okay, I like the gas generator, but it does make noise. And the problem is if you use too much at once, it shuts them off. And think about this. Tell me if I'm right. When the generator goes out, it's bad weather, it's dark out there, it's storming, it's all this, and it's probably because of a zombie apocalypse, okay? And the power goes out and someone has to go outside to start the generator. You ever seen this in the movies? It always seems to be the standard theme in a movie. So they're trying to decide who's going to go out amidst the zombies to start the generator, because he's probably not going to come back. And you notice how they always choose a B actor because he doesn't have to come back for the rest of the show, or company. Hey, cousin Bob, remember where the generator is? Can you run fast? But anyway, yeah, I always think about that with the with the gas generators. If the power goes out, I'm not going out there. There's probably zombies out there hungry for brains. So anyways, that's what I have. And let me know in the comments for those of you that are here tonight, which we had a great showing, even though we have the Super Bowl. And for those of you that watch this later, let me know what kind of generators you have, how you like them, so other people can see whether it's, maybe I should look into that or not. And I'm going to try and have another one, whether it's live or just a regular, like a review, down the road sometime. And when I've had time to look into more generators. I'm sure people will send in information. Hey, check this one out. Check that one out. I'm wide open so I can do some research for you folks and also know which one that we're going to get for ourselves. Now, just so you know, this video is not sponsored, but it should be. So you generator companies, if you want me to be chatting about you, send me a generator. So with that, folks, unless you have more questions or comments, we're going to be signing off. And Raluca wants to, here it is. What is it? It's so only 6:30 at night. It seems like 10. It gets dark so early. So we're going to go out and do a little bit of shopping. And let's see, Raluca says, what brand is your solar? So someone was having a conversation that I didn't see. She's going to have to come back and tell me. I couldn't tell. Oh, there you go. I've had it so long. Sorry. But it has a solar panel. So, okay. So you have one. That's good. And I guess you folks can read the notes so I don't have to show them all to you. But I just like seeing that come across the screen, Ralu. So with that, I want to thank you all for watching. If you'd like to see any specific type of things on our channel, let me know. Oh, some great news, something else we just started. First of all, I want to thank those of you that have been giving me donations recently. I never in years, I've been doing this for over 20 years, got super chats and those other kind of chats, they call them, that people just send in. I've been getting them in the last couple of weeks, and it's exciting. And people have been asking me, hey, we want to help support you. So we finally did it. We started our own Patreon site, channel site attached to this. So if you'd like to support our channel with me making more stoves and doing this research, we would really appreciate it. Just signing up or joining as one of the smaller ones keeps me in coffee, keeps me awake so I don't burn myself when I make these stoves. So I wanted to let you know we're pretty excited about that. And with that, I would like to thank you all for showing up. We really appreciate you. I really enjoy speaking to you. So I think we're going to do this, who knows, maybe every couple of weeks, do a live. Let me know if that's something you'd like to see. If there's topics you'd like to talk about, let us know. We're going to be doing something on water probably in another week or so, purifying water, because that's another problem when you lose power. You might want to, some people worry about how am I going to get water if the water shuts down? And there's so many other things we'd like to talk about. So again, with that, I'd like to thank you, and you all have a great night. Bye-bye now.